All right, here we go. We are live. I am not sure if you all can hear me okay, so you're going to have to let me know if you can't hear me. Type in the chat. But it is good to see everybody tonight. Here we go. So, I know I look quite different. I got some hair, wax, hair wax coloring, and it's temporary and a lot of fun. So I am trying out a bunch of different colors. If I had had this when I was in high school, I would have different color hair every single day. But I'm going to try to control myself with just a few colors and, leave it at that. But anyway, how is everybody tonight? I hope everyone is doing well. I'm feeling good, actually. I'm now like day 17, I think, after COVID, or no, day 16 after COVID, and I finally feel like well, like I'm done. All the healing has happened, and I'm kind of back to my normal. My resting heart rate is even now back into the 60s, which is excellent. And I just feel, I feel a lot better. So yes, I am so glad this is over. And I am so glad I'm feeling back to my normal self. Wow, look at everybody here. Hey, Dinah, so good to see you. Let's see. Oh, and great. I'm so glad that there are questions here and everything. Mr. Balgorth, you like the hair. Awesome. Awesome. Keto marathoner. Yes, I'm so glad you like it. Chase, you want to know how to book a consultation. So I will put a link in the description, but you can always also go to my Instagram channel. And in my profile, there is a link in the link tree to book a consultation with me. So, so that'll be really cool. I would love to have a chance to talk to you. DC Lady for Life loves my hair. Yes, thank you. I love it too. And what's my thoughts on the liver debate? Yes, let's get into that. I'm going to answer that question too. Natalia Diaz, beautiful hair. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, DC Lady. I'm done with the struggles with COVID, and I'm feeling good. So I'm really appreciative of that. So let's see, before we dive in, so I wanted to make this, an Ask Me Anything, but I wanted to also give you an opportunity, if you wanted to call in and actually speak to me, live, like we're on the phone or something. So I did put a link in the description where you can come in, and come in actually on the live feed, and I think I can do it so that we don't, your camera you will be off camera, so don't worry about being camera ready. So if you would like to do that, that's fine, or if you just want to put your question in the chat, that's totally cool as well. There are some good questions in the chat, so I'm going to start diving in and answering those, and and let's keep going. This will be a lot of fun. Before we dive into it, I want to see, maybe I can get my dog to come show herself. Come here, Ruby. Come here. Because we were quite a sight today. Ruby, come. 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 Oh, I don't know why. She just refuses to get on camera today. But both of our hair is purple, so I do want to make sure to show that off before it's too late. We went out for a walk today, and it looked very, very cute. Okay, so let's see. Dinah says, how long did it take for the weight to start shedding off? Okay, so as far as weight loss goes, so I lost my weight while on keto, and then I switched to a carnivore diet. I found that my weight never really came off very quickly, although it didn't come off quickly on the scale, but it did come off quickly in terms of measurements. So I think that that is a lot of people's experience, that the scale is not as cooperative as they want, but their general look and the way clothes fit and all of that kind of stuff, that stuff actually changed pretty dramatically and pretty quickly. So I think you have to think differently about what it is, how you want your weight loss journey to look. And frankly, I think nobody can see what the number is on the scale, but everybody can see exactly how tight your pants are. So really the important part of the journey is like how you look. And that's something that can actually change pretty quickly on Carnivore. So I recommend that you kind of focus on that. And that can be pretty quickly, especially if you pick up doing like weight training. You will be like massively resculpting your body and just changing its overall shape, even if you never lose any weight on the scale. So, that's something to think about. Okay, let's see. What are my thoughts on the liver debate? Yeah. So I think that liver is, I think that people get way too hung up on all of these like various supplements and vitamins and minerals and things that you're supposed to get on a carnivore diet. I think that that makes it unlivable when you are, starting to think like, I've got to get this number of grams of this, I've got to have this many grams of that, I've got to hit this macro and that macro. That's not living. Your plate, your food, food doesn't come in, a particular macro ratio, like meat comes how it comes with fat attached, and that's how it's, meant to be eaten. And you can't hit an exact macro or an exact number of grams and in a natural way. So I think, so my goal overall has really been to learn to eat in such a way that I'm eating exactly what my body is requesting and desiring and requiring. And that's it. And, there's no way that a formula, a book, some guy, an influencer can tell you exactly what your body needs. The one place that you can find that information is in your body. And the way that your body communicates with you what it wants is by your desires, right? So if something tastes good or feels good, it is good generally. And if it feels bad, it is bad. So when your body sends you signals like, I want to eat some of this, that's good. It's a sign. If it sends you signals, I don't want this, I find it disgusting, then that means you don't need it and you shouldn't be eating it. And so I think that those are the things that, should guide your tastes. So if, I think that you should try liver. If you find it abhorrent, then don't eat it. But you should try it every couple of months and see how you feel about it. And your taste may change. I know my taste definitely changed. And I did come to a point where I did enjoy liver. So, it's not something that I want to eat all the time, but I do feel like at certain points in time, maybe I need it. I need the extra nutrition, and then I do have a desire for it. And then, when I don't need it anymore, I don't really have a desire for it. So I kind of think that should be the approach. If you're in a situation where you've got to cut it up into frozen pieces and swallow it, just to kind of get it down, I really question whether it's something you need. I think a liver is, there's only one liver in every animal. So, if we think about ourselves when we were, evolving and as, hunters, there's only one liver in the animal. It's pretty big, but still, there's only one. So only so many people get to eat it. So if it's something that you're required to have so many times a week or so many times a day, then that wouldn't have worked, because there wouldn't have been enough liver for everybody. So I kind of have to imagine that liver is good, but it's not necessarily available for everyone. So yeah, I don't know. So I I don't know. I think you should eat it when you can, but it doesn't have to be all the time. So I hope that helps. Let's see. And Dinah says, Dinah wanted to know how long did it take for my weight to come off. So when I was losing, when I started on keto, it was September of 2015, and I didn't hit my goal weight until February of 2017. So it was not fast. I lost about a pound and 1.2 pounds, 1.4 pounds, every other week. And then I would lose 0 pounds 1 week, and then 1.2 the next, or 0 and then 1.6. It was not fast. I unfortunately, I just like lost all this weight overnight. So I totally understand where all you guys are coming from if it's moving slow. And I started lifting weights when I was about halfway through my weight loss journey. And at that point, like, my weight loss on the scale, like, came to a screeching halt. However, I was, I was losing inches like crazy still. So, every other time in my life when I had tried to lose weight, like, I would, be bigger, and then I would be smaller, same shape, but smaller. But this was the first time in my life where my body just looked completely different. And its shape really, really changed. So, so I was definitely a big fan of lifting weights. It really was a game changer for my body. So yeah, you might want to think about incorporating more of that, definitely, while you're doing carnivore too. Dinah, I'm so glad. Thank you. I'm glad you like this hair color. Thought I'd give purple a try. Hey Danielle, so good to see you. And let's see, Dinah says, I lost most of my weight with keto as well. The last 30 pounds is killing me. It'll be 3 weeks in carnivore today, and today is day 1 without dairy. Yeah. Okay. So, I think that carnivore is great, and I definitely think everybody should do it, but I don't really see it being a faster route to weight loss. I think it is a better route and a faster route perhaps to overall health, but it may not be a faster route to losing weight in the way that you want to be doing. But I still think that it might, you might be more successful in the long run of getting to your goal doing it that way. So welcome aboard. And yes, I think taking out dairy is really important. It does seem to slow down weight loss. And it's funny that you should be asking this. So I am actually launching now the maximum weight loss program, where I am trying to working with people who are following carnivore, and helping them to set up a program that will help them achieve the maximum weight loss with a minimum amount of discomfort or sort of hormonal imbalance problems and that sort of thing. So if you are interested in that program, definitely send me a message on Instagram tonight, and I'll get you the information and everything. But I do think that there are some specific things that you might need to do in order to speed up weight loss. Let me say specifically, speed up fat loss on a carnivore diet. And I also do think that that's something you should do only if you are already carnivore and have already been in ketosis for a while. So I think if you're just getting started on carnivore, don't worry about this. You don't need to do all of that. But if you are, you've been on it a while, closing in on your goal, and so things are moving much slower than you would like them to do. That might be a good time to kind of, work on this program together. So, so I'm pretty excited about that. So definitely reach out to me if you're interested in that. Boy, there's a lot of people watching, but not that many thumbs up. So if you don't mind, please hit the like button and subscribe. It definitely helps me with the algorithm to have more likes and to show that people are interested in this kind of programming, so that I can continue to provide it. And if you like, feel free to hit the little I think it's a $ icon at the bottom of the chat, of the live chat, and you can support my programming with a super chat or with a sticker, and let me know how much you like it. Thank you. Okay, so I see Keto Marathoner says, thank you, I appreciate you addressing this. No problem. And Keto Marathoner says, I choked it down, talking about liver, I choked it down for a year when I was sick with anemia, but now my taste buds change and I love it. Then I hear it's bad. Oh my goodness, good, bad. That's the problem too. Like all of these, you hear these people doing these videos and telling these stories like you must have this or you cannot have this, and this thing which we told you was so important last year is deadly now and you can't have it at all. And I just really get frustrated with all of this. These stories and the fear mongering. Eating should be like a pleasurable activity that you put some thought into, and then when you're not eating, you don't have to think about it. So it shouldn't be hard. You shouldn't be trying to choke down things that you don't like. But liver is, something that people have been eating since forever. So, it can't be that bad for us. I don't think it's something you should eat every day. But, if you like it, there's no reason you can't have it weekly. So I don't know. I struggle with people who, try to make us afraid of some of these things. Okay, so Danielle Barnett says, my hunger signals are jacked. I've been trying to go carnivore for the past 6 months, but I know I'm overeating. I can't stop. I don't know what to do to lose the weight anymore. So Danielle, I'd be really curious as to what you're eating. Because I know I hear people, saying stuff like that their appetite is out of control and they don't really trust themselves to eat to their appetite on carnivore. And and I think there's a couple of things going on there when people say that. So I would love it if you would, Danielle, it would be awesome if you would come on and maybe I can have this conversation with you and ask you some of the questions directly on the phone. But barring that, I can, kind of dive in and say, and ask some more questions. Let's see, you said you were keto before and got down to a great weight and stayed there for a while. Then you started gaining for no reason, so you tried carnivore. I don't know if it's for me. Yeah, Danielle, I'm going to need a little bit more info about what you're actually eating. So one thing that I hear about people when they say that their hunger signals are messed up, when I ask about what they're actually eating, what I'm hearing is a kind of odd carnivore diet. So I'll either hear the person is eating a lot of processed meats. They're relying on, things like sausage, hot dogs, breakfast sausage, chicken, deli meats, and stuff like that to make up the bulk of their food. And that is not terrible, but you can't make that the base of your food because it's not satisfying. And people are just not satisfied eating that way. So you're going to have a much bigger appetite when you are eating stuff that's not really it's not really food. It's too processed to be, to make the base of your meal. The other thing that I hear with people who are trying to make a carnivore diet work, eating primarily chicken and pork and or fish. So fish is too lean to make that the base of most of your meals. And so what you're going to end up doing is eating a ton of fish, and you're going to be eating a ton of protein. And if you're not doing a lot to supplement the fat, you're going to feel very hungry, and you're just going to eat a lot of volume. And then there are people who try to do this with just or mostly chicken and pork, and chicken and pork is just not as nutrient dense as red meat. So whether you're eating a beef, lamb, goat, elk, bison, that sort of thing, that's all much more nutrient dense. And so when people try to eat chicken as the base, they tend to have a huge appetite. So those are the things that I see people. So I see where people are going wrong, Danielle, when it comes to eating carnivore and having this huge appetite. So I would wonder if you are eating fatty enough meat. And I think that people do best when they pick fatty cuts of meat and then focus on eating fatty meat. And once you do that, your appetite should usually come in line. And and it could be, especially if you were really eating very lean before, you might even do a day or two where you're eating just beef fat trimmings and just eating fat to give your body a chance to get caught up. And what'll happen is that after that 1 day or 2 days, you're gonna have like zero appetite. You'll be able to go like 24 hours without eating because the fat will really, really fill you up. So I'd think about that. But barring that, Danielle, we can also have a coaching session where I can really kind of dig in and what you're doing and see if if carnivore works right for you. The other thing I was saying is take out dairy. Dairy is, if you're really trying to lose weight, dairy is not something that helps you lose weight. So I would take it out altogether. Okay. Let's see. Abigail says, oh, wait a minute. Large picture. Hey, good to see you. And Mommy does keto. Great to see you. And I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm giving you Purple Rain vibes. Yes, very Prince. My hair is very 80s Prince. I'm loving it. I was saying before when we got started, if I had access to this stuff when I was in high school, my hair would have been a different color every single day. I absolutely love this hair color, and I love that it's so easy to wash out, and that I can make my dog match my hair. So I'm just loving it. Large picture is so glad you love my hair. Thank you. Abigail says, you get frustrated with all the mixed messages from keto carnivore gurus, and how do you know which message to trust? Exactly. And I actually really get frustrated because there have been people that I've been watching for a long time who I felt like were responsible in their messaging, and then just kind of switched it up to just as basically to try to increase their audience. And I thought that was a really terrible thing to do because it makes them untrustworthy, and I know they know better because I've heard them say better and do better. But now the focus is really on building the audience. So I do feel frustrated, and I have people coming and asking me all kinds of crazy questions, and like I can tell who they've been listening to because there's like distinctive things that that person has been saying. So it is very frustrating, and I think it alienates people because it just makes this way of eating so hard and makes it seem like there are all these crazy rules and stuff to it. And it's like, I mean, ancestors were eating this way for, tens of thousands of years. It's not hard. It's really not that complicated. We make it more complicated than it needs to be. So there you go. Let's see. Large Picture says, Mommy does keto. I only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. I like it. I love it. Yeah, and I have my jean jacket, my hoop earrings. I just need a key to be hanging off of one of these earrings. Yeah. Man, I love the good old days. Let's see. Mommy Does Keto suggests that Danielle try tracking for a while and see what's going on. Yeah, I think that can be a really good idea too. Some people feel really triggered and don't want to, and don't want to do too much tracking. So I totally get that. If that's how you feel, even just writing down what you're eating is I think enough to, to kind of get an idea of what you're doing with your food. So, if you just keep a little notebook and write it down, that's good. But, if you can track it on, MyFitnessPal or something like that, can be really helpful. Let's see. Vanessa asked me if I've ever tried any type of raw dairy, and if so, did I experience any positive or negative side effects? So Vanessa, that's a great question. I've definitely had people who say that when they gave up dairy, they found, they had improvement. And then when they added back raw dairy specifically, they continued to do well and there wasn't a problem. So so I don't know. When I gave up dairy, I just gave it all up. I didn't distinguish between raw or not. Before that, I had gotten all the different kinds of fancy cheese. So yes, I'd eaten cheese that was raw, and I'd eaten cheese that was pasteurized. I never did an experiment where I took out dairy and then brought back just raw dairy, so I don't know if I would still see the same benefit or not by taking out or adding back in just raw dairy. But if you feel like you want to do that experiment, I think you should, because at the end of the day, nobody, it's only your body that you've got to get like all this stuff dialed in for. And for some people, having raw dairy is okay. So I would say, you should give it a try and experiment and see how it goes. Yeah. Let's see. And Chase LeBeau asks, what's the most cost-effective way to shop on Carnivore? And purple hair because royalty. Thank you. I just love the color purple. I am a big fan of Prince fan, and I have definitely gone years where every single day I've got something purple on, from lipstick to coats to clothing. So, big fan of purple. That being said, let's see, the most cost-effective way to shop on Carnivore. One, of course, getting ground meat, ground beef, and ground pork too. Those are going to be really, really cost-effective. Then, of course, shopping, for the manager special, for, any kind of specials, looking for the sales, stocking up when there are certain things on sale. Those are going to be the best things that you can do. But I also find that when you're eating carnivore, you eat a lot less. So you might find that even if you're buying regular priced or even more expensive priced meats, you might not be overall spending more money on your budget than you were before. I find, since I've taken out alcohol and all the snacks and all the different little extras that I would get, between drinks and, desserts and snack type things. Like, once all of that was gone, my budget, just crashed in terms of, the cost. So even when I wanted to splurge and get, like a ribeye steak, or, get scallops or other expensive things, like, it just, there was room for it because I was already spending so much less. So that's something I would think about, doing. And then you might want to also invest in things like, an Instant Pot, an air fryer, like a nicer, expensive air fryer, a dehydrator. Having these tools allows you to really take advantage when you do find really awesome sales. You can buy these big cuts of meat, and you can, cook them easily, or you can make jerky out of them. You can do things so that you can take advantage of, like, these large, low-cost meats and cuts. So that would be my suggestion. And Angel CV Carnivore, welcome. I'm glad you are here. Yes, I'm glad you caught the live. And you've been carnivore since 9/16/20, lost 65 pounds, and down to 123 pounds at 5'1" with Hashimoto's. Your Hashimoto's is in remission. Blood work and BP, blood pressure are on point. Awesome. Congratulations. That is fantastic. That is what I want to hear. Like, that isn't just like such an amazing success story. And this is the kind of thing that, you really want to, I don't know. I mean, this is what I want to hear, that people are able to turn around, like, major disease, keep their their health in the in the top condition, and feel great. So amazing. So let's see, Angela, what would you say to someone who is trying to lose weight quickly? What would be your top piece of advice, and just in general on your carnivore journey, what would be your top piece of advice for someone who is getting started with carnivore? What's the thing that you wish you had known in the beginning and that you would do differently? I'd love to hear that from you. Vanessa, you're welcome. Let's see, DG says, Carnivore Cure reported that eating even the smallest amount of liver could lead to vitamin A toxicity. Have I heard this, and my thoughts? Yeah, I have heard it. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like I've seen, or heard of people regularly experiencing vitamin A toxicity. I don't think that there's a need to eat liver daily. I think that one should, follow your desires for it. And what I often see is that people have a desire for it, and then, they have it, and then they don't have it again for months. And then they have it, and so on. So, I definitely don't think that it needs to be eaten all the time unless you really want it and you desire it. And then if you're, listening to your own body's desires, you're not going to be in a situation where, you're risking toxicity because you're following, your body's going to, like, tell you if it's got too much. You're just not going to desire it. So, so that would be my approach. And the other thing too, people so often when we're talking about eating, nose to tail, everyone's first thought is liver, but it's like, there's a whole lot of innards to a cow besides the liver, so if you want to eat nose to tail, that's great, but eat other stuff, eat the tail. I mean, I'm always talking about eating oxtails. So, you can't do more nose to tail than eating the tail. And, I think that eating bone marrow, absolutely delicious and very, very nutritious, and a very easy way of easing into, eating organs and offal and all of that. Eating, I don't know why. Arian really likes kidney. I think that's a harder one to get started with, but he says it's really delicious and really enjoys it. So, so I don't know. I would think about like trying some other stuff besides liver, and then you don't have to worry about that toxicity. Let's see. Mommy Does Keto says, yes, ground beef and eggs are super affordable and sticking up when things go on sale. Yeah, definitely. And if you're not getting like the super fancy eggs, they can be really cheap. Or if you can find, a local place that's, selling like eggs that, like they make in the backyard, those can be really cheap and very, very healthy. All right, my dog is here. I've grabbed her. So let me see if I can get her on camera for a second. Okay. All right. Come on, Ruby. Show off your good looks today. See? She looks very cute with her purple streaks. And we match very much. So, she hates being on camera. She absolutely hates having her picture taken. I don't know why. Ugh. But anyway. She's looking for dinner, though. I do know that. Yeah, so anyway, try the different types of organ meat. That's a better approach. And then, you can do this, nose to tail without worrying about toxicity. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, no, I said that, and then I said about the eggs. Yeah, so if you can get local eggs, that's those can be very tasty and cheap. Gregory asks if does this type of diet cause any kind of nutrient deficiency? I don't think so. I mean, I think this is probably the most nutrient dense diet you can possibly find, and I think that you will get past a lot of nutrient deficiencies if you're eating this way. And then let's see, Natalia says I have the opposite issue of many people. Metabolism is very fast, and gaining weight is a real challenge for me. I need to gain 5 or 10 pounds. I don't like high carb food aside from dairy products. Do you mean you don't like high fat foods, or what are the, or you just don't want to eat high carb? That's fine. I think, if you're trying to gain weight, probably you just need to eat more fat. If you focus on like eating, buying extra fat, like eating beef fat trimmings, eating suet, eating beef bone marrow, that is delicious fat. Those might be ways to get your calorie consumption up higher, and eat multiple times a day. Don't try to eat once a day. That way you're probably going to be able to get more food in. So, I don't know. Maybe that would help, Natalia. Let's see. Angela says, okay, so the things that helped her to be really successful were be consistent. So I just ate ground beef and steak and butter once a day, started at a pound of ground beef. I do eat chicken once or twice a month and eat dairy once or twice a month. Okay, yeah, that sounds like great advice. And did you enjoy your food? It sounds like you did. You found the thing that you liked and you ate it. A lot of times I think, I eat the same thing a lot, and I always think, I'm eventually going to grow bored of it, and then I don't. And I think that if you're eating food that's really nutrient dense and it really tastes good and you like it, like there's no reason to stop liking it. I don't know. It just is always, if it's good once, it's going to be good 1,000 times. I don't know. That's my opinion. Let's see, Natalia says, I just wonder how animal-based food can help me get a little bigger. I'm 5'9" and cannot get past 126 pounds. Goal is consistent and fit 133. Thank you. Yeah, I think you're going to have to eat more fat and, and perhaps dairy is something you need to have, a little bit more often. Glenda, you love my hair. Thank you. I really appreciate it. More noise again. Okay, and then Angela says, I lost a bunch of weight the first 3 to 4 months, but as my body healed, I stayed the same for a few months, and then the weight started to come off again. Advice, give your body time to heal. Yeah, that's excellent advice. And I say that I think a carnivore diet is not necessarily the fastest path to weight loss. I think sometimes people come to it thinking, well, if I cut down my carbs to 50 grams, that's great. If I cut them to 20 grams, that's even better. If I cut them to 0 grams, that's even better. But I don't know. I don't think that carnivore helps you to lose faster, but it helps you to increase your health faster. So it could be that, you get on carnivore and your body's like, great, let's get to work, fixing all those things that we have put on hold for all this time. And so, your body may prioritize healing over weight loss. And so you might just kind of have to wait. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to see any changes in your body, but it may be that, the changes aren't weight loss. The changes are instead, you feel great, you start to sleep better, all these various aches and pains that you've had around your body disappear. The brain fog lifts. You have a greater level of attention. Your anxiety disappears. Your mood improves. So you might see all of those things happening, but not really see anything happening physically with your body size. But, to me, those are some pretty powerful changes. So if you just stick with it, you're going to see other changes as well. It just might take a little while. Okay, I don't know why my dog is coughing. Let's see. Natalia says, suet, beef fat trimmings, and bone marrow. Yes, sounds like a dream. Thank you. Bacon. Yes, bacon can be good as well. Pork belly, brisket, chuck roast, oxtails, short ribs, all kinds of ribs. Those are all really fatty cuts. Those are the things to add as well. DC Lady for Life asks, what do my daily meals look like in the span of a week? So I've actually gotten out of the habit of posting my meals, but if you look at my Instagram, generally, that's what my meals are. In the beginning, when I first started my Instagram channel, I did it because I had a hard time envisioning what to eat. When I finally decided to try carnivore, I was like, okay, but I couldn't figure out what exactly my meals should look like. And when I was growing up, my grandmother would say, okay, you need a starch, a vegetable, and a meat, and that's how you put together a healthy plate. And so when I went carnivore, it was kind of like, okay, so I have the meat. Do I have 2 smaller meats on the side that, sort of take the place of the vegetable and the starch, or what, So I feel like in the beginning it was hard for me to imagine what it was that people were actually eating, and that's why I looked for pictures and looked to see what people were actually doing, and I posted what I was doing so that if anybody else had these questions, they could get some insight. So I used to then I posted a lot more of like exactly what I was eating in a day. Now I more post like one picture a day or one every couple of days of what I eat, but that doesn't mean that's like the total that I'm eating in a day. So I actually do want to get more back into it and taking pictures. But I also kind of feel like the pictures, I mean, just like attractiveness wise, like it's, carnivore is not colorful. So it's, meals can look pretty boring. And since I stopped eating eggs too, it's like, everything is brown, and that's kind of it. So, I don't know. I feel like it just gets boring to me. But I will go back to taking pictures because I know it does have value for people in understanding what exactly to eat. So my meals, like for example, this morning I cooked about 8 ounces of ground turkey. No, sorry. Why did I say that? I hate ground turkey. I didn't even eat that, long ago when I was thinking that something like that was even a healthier choice. No, but I had ground lamb, and what did I eat? Oh, and I had a half a stick of pepperoni. So I sliced up some pepperoni, and I had ground lamb crumbles that I just cooked in a pan, and I fried up the pepperoni with it. So the pepperoni is, that's not like healthy food. I would definitely not say you should not try to make a meal of pepperoni. But it's a nice accent, and I think it's, it could go along great with whatever else you're eating. So that's what I did. And, it was good. Yeah. And then I had more of the same at lunch. And then I haven't had dinner yet. But I will have dinner after this live stream. And yes, and today I have been dehydrating liver. So mostly I do that for my dog, who really loves these as snacks. But it is also really cheap, and a way cheaper way of making dog snacks. So that's what I've been doing, I guess, the last couple of months. And it's made me very popular at the dog park too. All the dogs like them. So okay. Mommy does keto, says pork shoulder is super fatty and cheap. Yes, and delicious. And you can get a really nice, like, you can cook it so the exterior gets all crispy like pork rinds. I mean, is essentially pork rinds. Man, so good. Now I get irritated by eating too much pork. It definitely inflames me. So even the pork, even the pepperoni that I have, that I'm gonna feel that a little bit. But I kind of think about that as carnivore candy. It's not food. It's just fun. So that's the approach I take. Let's see. Greg asks, do I still have issues with such foods as pork belly? Yeah, like I said, I don't do well with pork, so I will eat it occasionally now. So if I were offered pork belly, or if I had access to it, yes, I absolutely would eat it. I would be inflamed a little afterwards, but it would be worth it because pork belly is good. So yeah. Mary Ann, yes, I'm so glad you caught this. You've had great questions and comments on my other videos, so thank you so much, and welcome. Wow, and Mommy Does Keto says I can add my beautiful artwork as a backdrop to my brown meat. Yeah. Yeah, excellent idea, Mommy. Mommy Does Keto. Yes, perhaps that is what I shall do. I will have to figure out a way to make the meat a little bit more interesting to the eye. Okay, so let's see. Angela says, I post what I eat every day and 80% boring hamburger and fat pictures. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, Gregory asks, I don't know how to ask this, but how is the poop situation like in this diet? My dog comes and um, I don't quite understand your question, Greg. I think that you're saying that you use your yard as a bathroom and your dog comes and steals it. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do about that problem. Marianne, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really, really appreciate that. Thanks so much for your support. You've been a incredibly, enthusiastic supporter, and I really appreciate it. You have been great. And I ask everybody, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can get notification every time I go live. But make sure that you hit the like button. We have a lot of people watching, and it would be great to send a message to the YouTube algorithm that this is content that you want to see and help it to be shared with more people. So as long as we keep telling YouTube that this is good content, that'll help it move forward. And then the other thing is, weight loss is obviously a big thing that most of us care about. So, part of the reason why many of us came and decided to try carnivore in the first place, or even try keto in the first place. So I encourage you to reach out to me, and you can schedule like a 15-minute free consultation where we can talk about whether the newest program that I'm coming up with, the maximum weight loss program, whether that one might be right for you. I do think a lot of people can start the carnivore diet, do great, start losing weight, everything's fine, they feel great, and there's no problems. And that can be true for a lot of people. But some people, especially if you've been older, you have been overweight a lot longer, you've dieted a lot, you might have already a messed up metabolism. For people in that situation, you might need to do some things a little bit differently in order to lose weight at the speed that you want. And so I created this program to help people really target that and lose as quickly as possible without damaging your hormonal system. So yeah, I would say definitely send me a message. You can get yourself scheduled for a consultation, and we can just talk about whether this is going to work for you, and then we'll go from there. But I would love to see as many people as possible figuring out how to make carnivore really work for them and for their goals, and target help them to go in the right direction as well as possible. Let's see, Gregory asks, I want to try this diet, but how do I deal with idiotic vegan friends? I don't know, I find vegan people can be very hold their views very strongly. And I'm a person that holds my views very strongly. So I'm pretty committed to the way I'm eating. And, I don't know. So I've definitely had some vegan people come at me, and I on this platform or on other platforms, and I don't really like to engage and argue, because I don't think that the people who are arguing with me are interested in having their minds changed, and and I don't really care to try to change their minds. I really care to provide information to people who are open or interested in eating meat and finding a way to be healthier. So, I think there's plenty enough people who who are here and are looking for just this kind of information. So yeah, so that's what I kind of do. But I did have someone on Tuesday night on Clubhouse who was basically saying that why am I not using scientific data, and why am I just using anecdotal data to to prove my point? And I basically said, I'm not trying to prove a point. I'm trying to live as well as possible. And, using, I don't know, I mean, using like scientific studies and whatever the scientific community has decided is or isn't healthy, as my guide, like none of that is useful for me specifically. I'm trying to feel better and as healthy and strong as possible. And whatever science has decreed doesn't necessarily mean anything in my specific body, so that's what really matters to me. So when people say, oh well, that's just anecdotal science, but it's like, who cares? I only need to get one person healthy, and there's only one person, one me, that's going to die of disease or heal from disease. So I don't need to do what science says is going to work. I need to do what actually works. And I think that all of us following the carnivore diet are actually, we're kind of doing that. Science says, one thing, but we're finding a completely different life experience than when we follow the carnivore diet. And over, after a while, there's only, so many thousands of people that can tell you the same story that you then have to start taking that seriously. So I think that we are science in the making. And very soon, there is going to be enough scientific studies to be able to definitively say, hey, this can be healthy. Okay. So Gregory, I would say don't fight with your vegan friends, or get better friends. Yeah, exactly. Mommy does keto, says exactly. Get new friends. Evelyn, hey, great to see you from West Palm Beach. Awesome. Hey, Tracy, hi, great to see you. And Tracy, was it us who were talking about doing the carnivore disco? I can't remember. So, I went to my family's funeral, and then, got COVID, but now I'm better, so I'm, ready and raring to go. Looking forward to doing the carnivore disco. So if that was you, send me a message. I think we were talking on Messenger. Let's get back to it. And yeah, I'm excited about that. That'll be fun. So Gregory, I can't tell if you are a troll or you just have really unique things to add to the conversation. I would not threaten to kidnap anyone's pets and or cook them. So that's what I'm going to say. I don't think that's a good approach. I think you should just get new friends who are omnivores at the least, and carnivores if maybe. Tracy, that wasn't you? Okay, so Tracy Simpson. I'm pretty sure that was Tracy Simpson. So let's get to it though. Okay, so are there any more questions? I want to make sure that I covered everything. It's really amazing. I get tons and tons of questions from people, every day on Instagram, and I really do try to answer them because, I know that carnivore is, it's a little intimidating at first, and a lot of people have a lot of questions, and so it's important to, I try to answer every question with, as much patience as I as I can, and really try to help people to, to do well. And sometimes, your situation might be kind of specific and unique, and it might make more sense for us to do a consultation and actually have a session together. So I might recommend that as well. But just having, coming on here and asking your question is also really cool. I've actually really enjoyed this tonight, and I hope, and I think, I might like to do it more often, because I do know I get a lot of these questions that I don't get to answer as much as I would like to on Instagram. And Bay at Inspo, hey, welcome. It's great to see you. It's been a little while, so I'm glad to see you. And Gregory, I'm glad you're not a troll. Thank you. Any more questions before we go? Oh, Tracy A, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. So this, definitely helps me to be able to stay on the air and continue to, to answer the questions and to, be helpful and help more people follow this way of eating. Let's see. If there are no more questions, then I think I'm going to wrap up. But I will say again, go on my Instagram profile, and you can find links to, to sign up for a private one-on-one coaching session with me, or to sign up for the maximum weight loss program. You can also, find other links there for various things. And my website is coming soon. I am working on it with Primal in the City, Melissa. And, it's really fun. And we're doing, we're trying to make it as, just a nice looking website. So I'm really excited for that. I expect to have a blog portion on it. So I might be writing blog posts. So I'll be excited about that. So I encourage you to look out for that. It'll be blackcarnivore.com, and and that'll be the hub for all things to do with Black Carnivore. I'm really excited, actually. I have been wanting a website for a while and really kind of pushing it off because I just did not feel like trying to build it. So, and I was not wrong. My feelings about it. It's a little bit complicated. It's a little much. So there you go. Anyway, if there are no more questions, it says it's the end of Ramadan. So okay, congratulations, and I am glad to see you again, and I hope that it was a satisfactory Ramadan, and that you found it spiritually enlightening, and you were able to do the fasting in the way that worked for you. Definitely let me know how that went. Okay. All right, everybody. So please hit the like button and subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to get notification every time I go live. And I will see you all soon. And let's see, DC Lady for Life says, thank you for continuing to use YouTube, particularly for those of us who don't have Instagram. Absolutely. And in fact, DC Lady for Life, let me know if you're on Facebook, because I was thinking about starting to post more on my Facebook a Facebook account. I mean, we do have the Facebook group, but I also have a Facebook account, which I created so that I could start the group. And I could start posting more there, because I do know that there are definitely people that refuse to get on Facebook, and there are also people that refuse to get on Instagram. So I want to make sure that, I have information available everywhere for people everywhere. So DC Lady says, gasp, yes, not everyone has Instagram. I know. I know. I'm one of those people that really is into Instagram, but and I hated Facebook for a long while. But it is still big, it's still ubiquitous, and there's still a lot of people on it. So let's see. Tracy A says I don't use Facebook, but I'll follow on Instagram. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, I'm trying to be everywhere. And I might have to give up on Clubhouse, though. I feel like I'm stretched really thin, and Clubhouse was the newest edition, and I don't know. It's just probably not. It's fun, and the I like the setup, but it's just a lot. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so I am going to wrap up now, guys, but I had a great time tonight. Thank you so much. This was really fun, and I think we'll do this again. So next week, Arian will be here, and we're going to do that together, but the following week, I think I will do this Ask Me Anything, and yeah, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody, thanks a lot. I'll talk to you later. Bye.